Mr. Speaker, this government is the most expensive in Canadian history. Every dollar the Prime Minister spends comes out of the pockets of Canadians. The more they spend, the more things cost. And that's why Conservatives were calling for an affordable budget, for an affordable life, after Liberals doubled the cost of housing and doubled the lineups at our food banks.
Poilievre attempts damage control after chaotic week, pivots to attacking Carney's economic record. Pierre Poilievre just survived one of the most brutal weeks of his political career, watching two Conservative MPs abandon ship in spectacular fashion. And now he is desperately trying to change the channel by attacking Mark Carney's economic record. After a floor crossing, a resignation, and a failed attempt to topple the government, Poilievre traveled to Toronto on Friday to remind everyone that Canada should be the richest country on earth. Spoiler alert, deflecting from internal party chaos by yelling about deficits only works if people stop talking about your caucus falling apart. Welcome to Canada Newsletter, where we break down political survival tactics masquerading as economic speeches. Before we dive into what Poilievre actually proposed and why this Toronto speech screams desperation more than strategy, hit that subscribe button and click the notifications bell. You will not want to miss how this political train wreck continues to unfold. Right, let us get into this masterclass in damage control. After a chaotic week in Ottawa, with a floor crossing, a resignation, and a failed attempt to bring down the government, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre traveled to Toronto to put the focus back on cost of living issues. We should be the richest country on planet Earth, and that should be our goal, Poilievre said on Friday afternoon to a business crowd. He took aim at Prime Minister Mark Carney's federal budget whilst speaking at an event hosted by the Economic Club of Canada, days after the Carney government revealed its budget plan on Tuesday. This week's budget showed that investment has collapsed in all three fiscal quarters for which he has been Prime Minister, Poilievre said, adding that there is a deficit of $78 billion, $16 billion higher than Carney promised during the election campaign. Valid criticism, except nobody is talking about the budget anymore because Poilievre's own caucus imploded. The budget was completely overshadowed by political drama on Tuesday when Nova Scotia MP Chris D'Entremont resigned from the Conservative caucus hours after the budget was tabled, joining the governing Liberals. Then, whilst MPs voted Thursday evening against a Conservative sub-amendment to reject the budget, news broke that Conservative MP Matt Jeanroux plans to resign as a Member of Parliament. Jeanroux was also considering switching to the Liberals and even met with Carney recently, multiple sources told National Post. So Poilievre is in Toronto lecturing about fiscal responsibility whilst his own party is hemorrhaging members. The optics are genuinely terrible. Poilievre used his speech to turn the focus back to the Liberal government's record and away from the political intrigue. But that is like trying to ignore a house fire by discussing landscaping. Canada has literally everything it takes to have the highest quality of living, Poilievre said, noting the country's resources, including uranium, potash, a long oceanic coastline, fresh water, and having the shortest shipping distance from the Americas to both Europe and Asia. To bring down the deficit, Poilievre said he would cut bureaucracy and bring in a dollar-for-dollar law requiring equal savings for every dollar of new spending. He would also cut hidden food taxes, like the food labeling tax and fuel standard tax, and eliminate the home building tax and capital gains tax on any reinvestments in Canada. Poilievre also noted Carney's mishandling of President Donald Trump, who recently terminated negotiations after Ontario used Reagan's voice in an anti-tariff advertisement. Poilievre said if he were to broker a deal, he would offer a greater military that unburdens Americans of our defense and ensures their northern flank is secure. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Canada Newsletter.